Welcome to The Explainer. If you're passionate about education and fascinated by how we learn, well, you're definitely in the right place today. We're going to unpack K-12 education's absolute biggest upgrade, the Next Generation Science Standards, or NGSS for short. Now, this isn't just a shiny new textbook. It's a fundamental shift designed to take learning from passive memorization to active, truly deep comprehension. Here is a quick roadmap of what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at rethinking science education. Second, knowledge versus student performance. Third, decoding the three dimensions. Fourth, the 8 practices for better learning. And finally, we'll look at real NGSS classroom examples. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Rethinking Science Education.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to think back to your own grade school science experience. If you're like most of us, it probably involved lugging around heavy textbooks, memorizing endless vocabulary words, and then trying to pass a multiple-choice test on a Friday. Well, in the early 2000s, it became painfully clear that this approach simply wasn't cutting it anymore. Academic performance in STEM was noticeably slipping across the United States. Students just weren't developing those crucial 21st century problem-solving skills they really needed. So, educators took action. Over several development years, 26 state partners got together and collaborated to build an entirely new framework right from the ground up. And finally, in 2013, the Next Generation Science Standards were officially finalized and launched, replacing those outdated methods with research-based practices specifically built to improve how students learn.
You know, traditional science education was often described as being a mile wide and an inch deep. You'd learn earth science in 5th grade and life science in 7th grade, but the topics were entirely isolated. It relied so heavily on rote memorization and direct top-down instruction. But under the NGSS framework, it's a whole different ballgame. Concepts are actually interconnected. The learning is cumulative, meaning the ideas build on each other year after year, and it absolutely demands active, hands-on application. Students aren't just learning about science anymore, they're actually doing it.
Moving right along to Section 2, knowledge versus student performance.
So the crucial point here is that if we completely change how students learn, we obviously have to change how we measure success, right? Traditional education mainly measured knowledge, like what random facts did a student retain just long enough to pass the test. NGSS shifts that focus entirely over to student performance. It asks which skills have they actually mastered, and how well can they apply this knowledge to solve a real, tangible problem. It's not about what they passively know, it's all about what they can actively do.
To hit that high level of performance and really boost learning outcomes, NGSS uses this incredible tool called storylines. A storyline is basically a theme of lessons linking key concepts across multiple grade levels. For example, a student might learn foundational weather concepts in 1st grade, and then they'll revisit that exact same storyline in 3rd grade and again in 5th grade, adding more nuanced understanding every single time. It's this cumulative approach that ensures deep, lasting comprehension, instead of just quick test-and-forget memorization.
All right, Section 3. Decoding the 3 dimensions.
Now, if you've ever glanced at these standards yourself, you know they come packed with some pretty intimidating acronyms. First up, we have Performance Expectations, or PEs. Unlike the old-school standards that just gave you a fact to memorize, performance expectations define exactly what a student should know and be able to do by the end of a lesson. And here is the real secret recipe behind it all. Every single performance expectation is built by combining 3 distinct dimensions.
Let's move in and see how this builds. The first of those 3 dimensions is Disciplinary Core Ideas, or DCIs. Think of the DCI as your foundational book knowledge. It's the main science concept, like physics, biology, or earth science, that a student needs to understand to actually explain real-world phenomena. This right here is the bedrock of the standard. Then, we have the second dimension, the Science and Engineering Practices, or SEPs. Honestly, this is where the magic happens. These are the exact skills that professional scientists and engineers use out there in the real world. NGSS requires that students don't just, read a paragraph about how engineers solve problems. They have to actively investigate problems and solve them creatively themselves.
And finally, the third dimension is the Crosscutting Concepts, or CCCs. These are the fundamental scientific ideas that connect all the different domains of science together. We're talking about big picture things like cause and effect, identifying patterns, logic, and understanding complex systems. Crosscutting concepts act like the glue, weaving that foundational book knowledge and those active practices into a holistic, fully interconnected learning experience.
Section 4. 8 Practices for Better Learning.
So, we know students need to actively practice science, but what does that actually look like on a Tuesday morning? Well, NGSS identifies 8 specific practices. We've got asking questions and developing models, planning investigations and analyzing data, using math, designing solutions, engaging in argument, which kids usually love, and communicating information. Think about how incredibly dynamic this is. By implementing these specific practices, we're literally replacing standard, boring lectures with active, scientific investigation.
But the big question, does all this hands-on practice actually improve learning? The data says absolutely yes. Research shows that when instruction incorporates these practices, students see a massive increase in critical thinking, collaboration, motivation, and comprehension across all 4 STEM subjects. States that have adopted this framework are seeing direct, significant gains in student test scores and overall achievement. It just works.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Real NGSS Classroom Examples.
Let's land the plane and see what this actually looks like when you breathe life into an early elementary classroom. In this specific lesson, students are tasked with designing bird feeders. But listen, they aren't just doing arts and crafts here. They are given specific constraints and a real problem to solve. They have to sketch their design out, justify their choices to their peers, and then physically build a model of that bird feeder. And this brilliantly illustrates how the activities tie directly back to the standards. This bird feeder project maps perfectly to a specific performance expectation, requiring early learners to develop a simple sketch or physical model to illustrate how the shape of an object helps it function to solve a given problem. So it's structured, goal-oriented play that's actually building serious engineering skills.
Here is another awesome elementary example, investigating sound vibrations. Instead of just reading on a page that sound is a wave, students are handed tuning forks, drums, hollow tubes, sand, and water. They create sounds themselves and visually observe how those invisible sound waves make physical materials vibrate right in front of their eyes. They are directly investigating cause and effect through hands-on experiments. Now, as we move up to middle school, the concepts obviously get a bit more advanced, but that active learning continues. In this physical science lesson, students are learning about forces in motion, but instead of just staring at formulas on a whiteboard, they get their hands dirty. They physically assemble an inclined plane to investigate how a simple machine is used to multiply force and to see exactly how mass affects motion in real time. And for a life science example, we have nature's resources. Middle schoolers are given real wildlife population data sets, like, say, tracking an endangered species. They don't just memorize the textbook definition of an ecosystem, they actively analyze real data, interpret population trends, and create graphical representations of the relationships between animals and their food supplies. They are acting exactly like real biologists and data scientists. The next generation science standards completely redefine what it means to learn. They're transforming students from passive receivers of information into active, engaged problem solvers. So, the question I want to leave you with today is this. Is your school preparing students to just know science or to actually perform it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this structured look at the NGSS framework has empowered you with a deeper understanding of how we can truly transform student learning. Keep asking questions, keep investigating, and I will catch you in the next one.